Hi, how are you?
Fine, sir.
That's great. So, we are going to study biochemistry. You see that biochemistry is really very interesting. Is very interesting subject, and it can be broadly categorized into three major areas. The one is the biomolecules. The other one is metabolism, and the third one is genetics.
Okay.
So, in our first semester or in your first year, actually we spent a lot of time in studying biomolecules, which are carbohydrates, which are proteins, which are nucleic acids, which are lipids, minerals, vitamins, hormones, enzymes. Now, in this section, and which is the big section of this semester or this year, and that is called metabolism. So, all the chemical reactions that are taking place collectively in the body are called metabolism. They are grouped together into metabolism. You see that what I mean to say? All chemical reactions occurring in living organisms. This is metabolism. And in genetics, we see the hereditary aspects of life and the diseases related to genes. So, this is the big picture of biochemistry. So, I will start with metabolism. What is metabolism? As I explained you. Now, the most specifically, we are concerned here with energy metabolism. Okay. Now, my question is, how do we extract energy from the food? This is the first question. The second, how do energy comes in food that we extract? And here is a big thing. And you know what is that? All the energy that is there on this planet Earth is derived from sun. So sun is the ultimate source of energy. Sun is the ultimate source of energy. That energy is trapped by the plants, and plant convert that solar energy into the chemical energy in the form of food. And then we eat that food, or the animals we eat that food, and extract energy from the food they eat. Is it clear? I hope this should be clear. Now, what is the twisty thing in it? Let me tell you. No, I'm telling you, twisty thing. That is really very twisty. And what is that twisty thing? You see that? This is the basic reaction. And I tell you, I mean, this is not boring thing. This is really very interesting thing. If we don't understand these things, we won't be able to appreciate the biochemistry and the energy metabolism and all those things. So, although these are very basic things we often study in our primary and in our high school and in our college, but understanding all these things at this level are very much important, and appreciating the impact of these things in the life is really very important to understand. So, photosynthesis. So, this is what? This is carbon dioxide that is present abundantly in the atmosphere. It reacts with water and it traps sunlight in the presence of chlorophyll, and it makes C6H12O6, which I deliberately called food. although it is glucose, but I am deliberately calling it food, and we get oxygen. And you see that carbon dioxide is present in the highly oxidized form. Highly oxidized form of carbon is called carbon dioxide. It cannot be further oxidized. This is the fully oxidized form. And then the plants do what? By getting this energy, this carbon dioxide is reduced to food. So this reduction of carbon dioxide to food actually gives lot of energy to the food. Okay? So actually carbon dioxide traps this energy. Now this energy is trapped by the carbon dioxide, and the carbon dioxide is becoming food. And water is oxidized to oxygen. So I write it here. Carbon dioxide is reduced to food and water is oxidized to oxygen. Okay? So now you see that if more is the reduced form of food, more will be energy in it. You see? C, lot of C's, and you have lot of hydrogens, and I mean to say what? Hydrogens. But you are not finding any oxygen in here, just one terminal oxygen, and that I am drawing the structure of a fatty acid. So this fatty acid is a highly reduced form of carbon. As it is highly reduced, so it means that it contains maximum energy. Okay, and when we will study for, in the coming weeks, we'll see that how it has the maximum energy. Just one thing here I want to just say you, here, see here in my eyes, and that I just want to make you sure that if the food is highly reduced, it will produce lot of energy. If it is less reduced, it will produce less energy. You see that the less reduced form of food is carbohydrate. The highly reduced form of food is lipids. Intermediate form is proteins. So by my convention, which I explained you just, that fatty acids, lipids should liberate lot of energy upon oxidation. Similarly, carbohydrates should release a little amount of energy, while the proteins will liberate the intermediate amount of energy. So you clear? What is the big thing I am telling is, I'm just telling that if the food is reduced, I mean it have lot of hydrogen and no oxygen or little oxygen, then it must give lot of energy. And if the food is little reduced, I mean somewhat reduced, it does contain oxygen as well as other things like nitrogen, sulfur, potassium, magnesium, etc. It should liberate less amount of energy. So is it clear? Now, if I summarize this all, is that the sunlight is responsible for the reduction of carbon dioxide to food. Why am I calling glucose the food? Why? All the food that is there on this planet Earth is produced through photosynthesis. And the first product of photosynthesis is, although trioses, but trioses are ultimately converted into glucose. And you see here, this is very much appreciating thing. You just see here, like you see, you are taking carbon dioxide from the environment, water from soil, and minerals from soil. All these things make all food, means carb, proteins, I mean to say amino acids, lipids, all lipids, nucleic acids, vitamins. You see, in these things, if you see that, in these things, you find nitrogen, you find sulfur, you find potassium, you find magnesium. All these things are coming from minerals from the soil. While if we have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, as in the case of Carbohydrates, they come from carbon dioxide and water. Alright? So you understand? So, what is the big thing? What is the big picture? The big picture is that whatever the food is produced that we eat pizzas, shawarmas, biryani, and I think now you are salivating, but don't worry, we eat all those things. Lot of things. All these foods that we eat in all our life are one way or the other are dependent upon the photosynthesis. Is it clear? Now the reverse of this thing happens in the animals. Now what is that reverse thing that happens in the animals? You see that? What happens in the animals? In the animals, you have this food. Again, I am deliberately using the word food for glucose. You have this food, and now you oxidize this food. And when we oxidize food, we get what? We get carbon dioxide and water and ATP. And this is the energy. Okay? So, we can say that how do we get energy? How do we get energy? Or you can say extract energy from food by oxidation of food. And we can also say this oxidation of fuel. And this is the only way by which most of the society is getting energy. What I mean to say is that fuel, if it is natural gas, if we burn this natural gas, we get carbon dioxide, water, and energy. And this energy helps us in cooking food, in running factories. We have petrol or gasoline. Gasoline burns with oxygen and we get energy. And that energy drives all the vehicles. You see that? The only source, how do we get energy? If it is present in the body, we get energy. We get energy from the food we eat. But if we want to produce energy from the outside environment, what we do? We burn fuel, we oxidize fuel. That fuel may be just wood, that may be natural gas, that may be gasoline, that may be petrol, that can be diesel, that can be a lot of things. So we burn all those things with oxygen and we get energy. And that energy is used to drive all the functions that we are doing in our daily lives. So, this I hope you understand. Now, what I explain is that you need air, you need fuel. Air contains oxygen and fuel is burned. And when fuel is burned in oxygen, we get energy. And that energy we get in our body is in the form of ATP. Clear? I hope you understand. But if you don't understand any of thing, please be sure to ask me question. You can find me on my Facebook. Thank you. Well, so let me summarize all this philosophical discussion about food and energy and all that boring stuff, but this is not boring. I'm telling you, this is really very interesting, and this is really very interesting. This is really very interesting. There's two lines that plants make food by the reduction of carbon dioxide, and we get energy from the food by the oxidation of food. Is it clear? I hope this should be clear. Clear? So let we move forward. Now I want you to stir your imagination. You see that you need to work very hard. You're exercising. You're running a marathon, and your cells need a lot of energy. And that lot of energy can come from just two sources. One is oxygen and the other is food. You see that? If you need lot of energy, you need lot of oxygen, and it means there should be lot of respiration. And this should mean that you should be breathing like Why? Because your body need to get lot of oxygen. All the cells need to get lot of oxygen, so that that oxygen may help in burning the food that is present in our body. But if you have not eaten anything and you are starving, then I can probably guess that you are going to succumb in the face of the long distance. You will not make the race because your fuel is what you can say is just vanished, obsolete. So food and oxygen burn to produce energy. I hope you understand. Well, I will explain to you the big land of biochemistry tomorrow. Be with me, stay with me. Thank you. Bye bye.